Hi, I'm Robin. Thanks for joining me today. I'm an instructor for the Senior Center here in Tallahassee, and you may have already participated in one of my brain-body balance classes, either at the center or maybe at Allegro Assisted Living. But today, I'm going to lead us through a stretch routine that'll be designed to open the joints and keep our muscles flexible, especially if we've maybe been spending a little extra time in a sedentary environment lately. It should be a really nice, easy stretch. We're only going to be using a sturdy chair. That's all the equipment that you need today. Would like you to remember to always have water available with you when you're going through a routine, even if it's just a stretch routine. Something else to remember is to be sure to breathe throughout our stretch routines. Breathing is so important. It really helps move through the motions. Also, or lastly, I should say, I want you to feel free to modify anything that I'm doing. I'll try to give you some modifications as we go, but if it hurts, don't do it. You'll just wait until we do something next. Gentle pressure when you're stretching, not pain. Also, if you just need a break, feel free to take a break and then rejoin us afterwards. We're going to start by engaging the core and addressing our posture. It's always an issue. So I'm actually sitting slightly forward in my chair, about halfway through. Feet are solidly planted on the floor, toes pointed forward. And to engage the core, everything from the bottom of the rib cage down to the hips, I'm going to start by pulling my belly button into my spine. So really tightening up the abdominal area, bringing shoulder blades up, back, and down. So shoulders are going to be back. The blades of the shoulders, try to keep those in the back pockets as much as possible, even if we're reaching up. All right, so let's begin. Let's just warm up the neck a little bit. Drop the right ear toward the right shoulder, and then roll the chin forward and over to the left side. Always be gentle when you're working with your neck. Roll forward again and back over to your right side. I'm a mirror image of you, all right? So roll, little neck roll to the left again, and a nice neck roll to the right. We carry a lot of tension in the neck and shoulder area, so it's always nice to get it warmed up. I'm going to go all the way around this time. So I'm going to take my head to the right, tilt it back and up, over to the left, and around again. If this bothers your neck, okay, always feel free to just keep that neck in a neutral position and not look up or down. Reverse that roll. Take your time. And remember, be sure that you're breathing. One last circle. Nice. We're going to bring it back to center and back to neutral. Let's go to sweeping our arms up. So reach the arms up. Big, deep inhale, as high and tall as you can. And then as you exhale, palms come down as if the arms are going through the deep end of a pool. Control that motion. Never fast. Inhale, sweep up, inhale. And palms down as you exhale. We're going to add some moves. We're just going to do a big shoulder roll here at the bottom. Shoulders up, back, and down. And then again, sweep the arms up. And if it's available to you, again, look up, tilt the chin up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, release the arms down. And one big shoulder roll. Don't forget that your core is engaged, belly button to backbone. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, palms down. Big shoulder roll. And now, let's do a nice chest opener. Bring the hands front. I've got my palms facing each other. I'm just going to open the arms from that position straight out into a T position, and then even further back as much as you can manage. Squeezing the shoulder blades together in the back. Opening the chest. Little lift in the chest as well. Breath in, and then exhale. Arms come over and cross each other. Give yourself a big hug. Again, inhale, open. Lift the chest. Exhale and switch the arm that's on top this time. Give yourself a big hug. 2 more. We'll alternate which arm is on top. Inhale and open. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like. Exhale, close and hug. And one last time, inhale, open. Exhale, close and hug. And then just release the arms down to your lap. Well done. Now for a little bit of shoulder rotator cuff work. I'm going to bring the arms out straight into that T position, palms open and facing front, and then just bend at the elbows until you've got a goalpost position right here. So there's an L or a 90-degree angle at your elbows. Take a nice breath. And then I'm just flip the arms down so my palms are going to come to the back. And then inhale and open. Reverse that again. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what this looks like from the side. Reversing, bringing the hands back. My shoulders are very stable. I'm just rotating through, my elbows are very stable. Rotating through the shoulder joint. Good. Let's do 2 more. Feet are nice and solidly planted again. Inhale. Open that goalpost. Exhale. Turn the palms back and down. One more time. Inhale, open, lift. Shoulder blades still in the back pockets. And then exhale back and around toward the back wall. Good. Bring them into a neutral position and relax your arms. Maybe just shake your shoulders out a little bit. All right, we're going to move on to ankle flexibility. I'm comfortable sitting halfway forward in the chair. It also challenges the core, which is awesome for functional strength for day-to-day things that we do. But if you need to use the back of your chair for support, feel free. Sit toward the back of the chair. You can lean into it if you need to. Again, I'm going to sit slightly forward, but you can hold the chair as well. And I'm going to lift both legs. So right leg's going to come up, and then my left leg is going to come up. You can see the bottom of my shoes. Nice, strong quadricep muscles here. And we're going to start by just pointing and flexing the toes. Good. Point the toes. You can hear my ankles cracking. Shoulders are back and down. Abs are in tight. Nice points and flexes. Good. Ankle flexion, big toe flexion. Supple ankles everything is so important for our gait. Being able to walk well without shuffling our feet might cause us to fall, to shuffle, so got to keep these ankles flexible. How about some circles with the ankles as well? Circle around and around. Reverse those circles. And then I'm going to just hold this flex position. I hope your legs aren't getting tired. If they are, you're welcome to put one leg down and do it one leg at a time. Always feel free to modify if you need to. Windshield wipers with my feet and my toes. So I'm going to open the toes and then close, big toe toward each other. Open. Now I've got some movement in my hips as well as the ankle. So we're opening and closing. Should feel this right in your hips, big toe to big toe. And then open again, heel to heel, toe to toe, heel to heel, toe to toe. One more time. Heel to heel, toe to toe, and relax your legs. Good. Listen. We're actually really basically going to do the same thing with our wrists. By taking our hands out in front of us, make a stop sign with your hands. You can see it better if I move my hands apart a little bit. So make a stop sign with your hands. So I've got flexed wrists, and then I'm going to point them down and then up, just like we did our ankles. Start to get some nice movement in the wrists. Still breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Good. 3, 2, last one, holding here, some circles with the wrists. And then reversing those circles. And then relax the arms. Nice. There are a few things that I do in pretty much every stretch routine that I teach. One of them is coming up, and that's a reach and pull. We're going to reach toward the floor. Excellent for opening the hips, warming up the back a little bit. Feet are planted solidly on the floor as before. Toes are pointed straight forward. All we're going to do is reach down toward the ankles or toward the floor and then pull back as if we're rowing. If you can't reach the floor, that's fine. Just go as far as it's comfortable for you to go. So here's the movement. I'm going to take it all the way down and then pull up and back, row. Reach down to the ankles or to the floor. Pull up and back, lifting the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades, and row. Now, if you can only come slightly below the knee, that's perfectly fine. Do what you can. And again, I'll turn sideways. You can see what this movement looks like from the side. I have a flat back. I'm taking it forward. I'm hinging from my hips. I am not rounding my back rounding the back over. My back is going to stay flat. Spine is stacked. Reaching forward and pull up and back in the row. Pull back and row. Good. Down. And pull back and row. Be sure you're still breathing. Reach down. Pull back and row. Face front. Let's do two more. Reach down. Pull up, back, and row. Feel free to go at your own pace if I might be moving a little too quickly for you. Pull back and row. Excellent. Well done. Now let's do a little spinal rotation. It's so good for the spine. Think of wringing out a washcloth and then letting it unwind. We're going to place one hand on the opposite knee. So I'm going to start by taking my left hand to my right, to the outside of my right knee. I'm going to take my right hand and place it about where my right hip is. Taking a breath, I'm going to turn just from the upper body and look to the right. Now, if you have osteoporosis, you want to be very gentle when we do spinal rotation or twisting of the spine, which is what we're doing right now. I want everyone to be sure that you're sitting as tall as you can. One more breath. Exhale and come back to center. If that means you need to scoot back in the chair and use the back of your chair for support to be sure you're straight up and down and not rounded forward, you should do that. Let's go the other way. Take your right hand, place it on the outside of your left knee. My left hand is going to go down around my left hip. Nice breath in to start. And then exhaling, turn, look towards your left. Hold and breathe. And then on the next exhale, release it, come back into the center. We're going to do that one more time. Left hand outside the right knee, right hand at the right hip. Shoulders are in my back pockets. Take a breath, and then turn and look towards your right. Just rotate toward the right as far as it's comfortable for you. Don't over-rotate. And just hold and breathe. Tummy's in tight. Your right shoulder is back and down. Breathe. One more nice deep breath. And as you exhale, rotate back to the center. And the last time to your left side. So my right hand is going to go across my left knee, trying to avoid the shoulders creeping up and adding tension. Shoulders are down. Left hand, left hip. Breath in. Exhale and turn toward your left. On your next exhale, we will once again come back to the center. Good, and let's just do a nice big shoulder shrug up and shoulder shrug down. Now, one other exercise or stretch that I always do in one form or another in my classes is a cat-cow. Some of these terms you might recognize from a yoga class. This is wonderful for your low back. It's a good warm up and stretch for your low back. So what we're going to do is take both hands and just lightly rest them in the front of your knees. Now, I should say on this one, you really do need to move forward in your chair because we're going to be rounding back and then sitting up. So you need a little space between your back and the back of the chair. I'm about halfway in mine. Feet are planted, again, resting your hands in front of your knees. Taking your first deep breath, lift the chest. If it's available to you, look up as well. If this bothers your neck to look up, just keep your head in a neutral position. You have a little arch in your back. And then on your exhale, pull your belly button into your spine. Pull away from your knees, make your arms long, and curl your vertebrae into the letter C. Again, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what this looks like from the side. Here. And then inhale, lift up. Big deep breath in. Arch in your back. Exhale. Tuck your tailbone under a little bit. Pull your tummy in tightly to your spine and round forward, extending the arms as they're still holding the front of your knees. Inhale up again. And exhale one more time. You should feel a nice, good stretch right here in your low back. Inhale up again. Last time, rounding back, pulling away. That's your angry cat position. And then bring it back into a neutral position. Well done. So as I said, today we're only going to use the chair, and I'll be moving side to side on the chair so that you can see what the stretch looks like. We'll come back to the wall in a couple more weeks, but today we're just going to use the chair. So go ahead and stand up, and let's take a step to the right. We'll go to the right side of the chair to start with. We're going to start with a hamstring stretch. So I'm going to hold on for support with my left hand. I'm on the right side of the bench, so I'm going to stretch my right leg. Toes are pointed directly forward. Take your right foot and dig your heel in front. So it looks like this from the side. My right foot flexed and the heel to the floor. And now bending from my hips, my left knee, I'm going to just take it forward until I feel a good stretch in the back of the leg. So you should have your back flat, not rounded. Nice stacked vertebrae. Back to the side here. And you can support yourself with your hand on the other leg. So your left knee is bent, your right leg is straight, your toes are up, and you should feel a wonderful stretch in the back of the leg. We're just going to hold here and breathe. Tummy's in. One more nice deep breath. I like to hold a stretch for a minimum of 15 seconds, 15 to 20. That's when you make some actual gains. And that means you probably need to take at least 3 long, deep breaths. Now let's go ahead and lower the toe to the floor and continue the stretch. So I've pointed my toe, my foot is on the floor. Again, this is what it looks like from the side. My left knee is bent, my right leg is forward. Instead of a flexed foot, I've placed it forward on the floor. Flat back. One more breath. And we'll come all the way up on the side here of the chair. And then we're going to do a little bit of work for our calf muscle as well. So again, on the right side of the bench, right side of the chair, so I'm going to stretch my right leg. In order to do that, my right calf, I'm going to step forward slightly with the left leg and keep my right leg behind with a firm foot, with my heel firmly planted on the floor. And then I'm just going to move forward in a bit of a lunge. Again, I'm going to turn this to the side. Easier to see. This is what it looks like. Stepping forward slightly with the left leg, straight back with the right leg. You can see the soles of my feet, hopefully, in the screen. The right heel stays on the floor as I lean slightly forward into a nice lunge position. Now, I can see the tops of my shoelaces. It's important that your knee be directly over your ankle. You don't want your knee to get way out here over your toes. You want your knee over your ankle. Okay, good. And let's do a little more ankle flexibility as we're stretching the calf and warming it. And lift the right heel, roll through that big toe, and then press it back down. And lift the heel and press it down. Again, really being able to feel this through the big toe and press it down. And lift and press. One more time, lift. I can still see my shoelaces if I look down, and press and hold again. My heel is pressed down. My toes are all facing directly forward. Okay, they're not open to the sides. They're pressing directly forward. Here we are. Right heel is down. Nice stretch in the right calf. Good. 3, hold. 2, hold. And 1. And we'll just step it in and maybe shake your legs out a little bit. Again, if you need to hold onto that chair for support, that's fine. We're going to do some hula hoops with our hips. Go all the way through. Some nice hula hoops. Your knees are soft. And then reverse your hula hoops, circling the hips around and around. Good. One more time. And hold. Let's do the other side. What we do to one side, we must do to the other side. So I'm going to come to the other side of my chair. Now I'm on the left side of my chair, so I'm going to be stretching my left leg. Holding on for support, that's optional. If you want to challenge your balance a little bit, feel free to do that. We're going to start with that hamstring stretch as we did before. So my left foot is going to flex. I'm going to set my heel down right in front. Flexed foot, my right toes are facing forward. I'm going to make a hand sandwich right here at the hips and flex forward in a pike position. Again, not rounding over, but keeping a flat back. It looks like this from the side with a flat back. And hold. And if you want to put your hand, your left hand on the opposite thigh for support, or holding onto the chair, if you're pretty flexible, you might actually have your hand on the seat of the chair. We're going to hold this hamstring stretch. Remember our 3 at least good deep breaths. Beautiful. Feeling a nice stretch behind the left leg now. And then go ahead, release your toe down to the floor. So I'm going to point that left toe. Maybe feel like I can get a bit more out of the stretch from here. My right knee is still bent, but my left leg is straight. Keep breathing. One more nice breath. And then go ahead and stand up, round it up. Come back to the side of your chair. I'm still on the side of my chair. And we'll go to our calf stretch. So for the left calf, we're going to step slightly forward with the right foot, toes pointing forward, and step back with the left leg. Toes are all pointing forward. Your left heel is flat to the floor, and your left leg is straight. Then I'm going to move a little bit by bending the right knee into a little bit of a lunge. I can see my shoelaces. My knee is directly over my ankle. Again, it's like this from the side. Right leg forward, slightly bent. Left leg steps back. Heel is flat to the floor. The leg is straight. And I can see my shoelaces. And then let's warm up the calf a little bit and get some more flexion through the big toe and the left ankle by raising the heel and lowering the heel. And raising the heel and lower. Good. Lift the heel. Still breathing, lower the heel. One more time, lift the heel, feel it roll through your big toe. Press the heel down and hold. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Step it in. Let's come back into our seated position in the chair. Feet are on the floor, nice and solid. We're going to do a little bit more seated work and finish off with a lovely neck series. So again, to keep the tension out of our neck as best we can. We're going to do a figure 4 stretch to open the hip. Now, There are modifications for this. If you've had hip replacement or knee replacement, you'll need to modify. What I'm going to do to start, just to show you what the goal is take my right leg up and cross the ankle over the left thigh, just as if you were just kind of casually sitting in a chair. So this would be the optimal if you don't have, again, knee or hip replacement. If you do, then what you're going to do is we'll switch forward just a little in the chair. Hold on to your chair. I'm going to move my left foot forward a little bit and cross my right foot just over the ankle. So I'm going to have my knee's going to be able to open. I'm going to get a little hip opener here. Maybe it's not quite as strenuous, but it's a good way of it's a great way of modifying. So here's the modification. Placing your right hand on the inside of the knee. Just going to gently press the knee open, and you should feel your hip open here. If you're able to cross the ankle all the way over the thigh, again, my hand is on the inside of my knee, not my kneecap, but inside the knee. I'm just going to gently open that leg. Gently point the knee toward the floor. If this is an easy thing for you, if this is not a problem, and my hips are fairly open, I have pretty good flexibility in my hips, then you can try leaning forward a little bit for a bit more, just for a little bit more out of the stretch. Again, I'm not rounding forward. I'm not nose to knee. I've got a flat back. I'm just opening forward, just sitting in the chair, pressing that right knee out. I'll go back to the modification. Looks like this. My right hand inside my knee or my thigh, and I'm just opening the knee. 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. Let's do the other side. Plant your right foot on the floor. Cross your left ankle over your right ankle for the modification. Hand comes inside the left knee, or left ankle all the way up. Crosses over your right thigh, hand inside that knee. Gentle pressure to open the knee and open the hip right here. So gentle pressure here. If this is a pretty flexible position for you, again, you can try leaning forward with a nice flat back and use your elbow to press the knee open and get a bit more from the stretch. Continue to breathe. 3, 2, and 1, and come on up. Now, if that's an area that's really tight for you and you really like that stretch, feel free to just hang out in that stretch and skip the next one. All right, let's do a little bit of side bending and work on the back of our arms as well, a little tricep work. So I just want to reach up with the right arm, down toward the floor with my left arm. I'm going to take a little gentle reach over to the side. Just a little gentle reach. Be sure your feet are nice and flat, solidly on the floor. And inhale up. And we're going to switch. Left arm goes up, right fingers go toward the floor. Bit of a side bend. Tummy's in. Don't forget your core. Nice. Inhale, switch sides. Just going to windmill my arms. Opposite arm up, opposite arm down. Stretch through your sides. You should feel a big stretch all the way from your shoulder down to your hip, oblique muscles. One more time to the other side. Exhale, windmill the arms, side bend stretch. Good. Now I'm going to come back into the center and then just drop my left hand behind my back. So we're going to stretch our tricep muscle, which is that muscle that runs behind the arm. Now, choices. If you're very flexible here, you can take the opposite side, your right arm, and help it a little bit and pull it back. You might need a little help from the front. So I'm going to turn a bit so you can see this again. So if when you try this stretch, this is about as much as you get. It's as far as you can go. Take the opposite hand and help it from the front. And just hold and breathe. If you're a bit more flexible and the arm can come up, the elbow points to the ceiling and the hand goes down your back. Good tall posture, always holding good posture. Keep breathing. We're going to switch arms. All right, so you either release both arms, or I'm going to take mine all the way up to the ceiling and just give it a nice reach, stretching my abdominal muscles as well, and then drop the other hand. Switch sides. Whichever hand you are not just working, whichever arm. Again, you can also place the opposite hand in front, give it a little help, push back, and breathe. One more breath, and then release. Great job, well done. One of my favorite posture stretches is where we're going to finish today before we do the next series. I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see how this works. Might be a little more difficult in the chair. That's why I recommend if you've got a sturdy chair that doesn't have arms, that's probably a better choice for this particular stretch. Both hands are going to come behind the back. I'm going to clasp my fingers together. This may be all you need, all right? Press down and lift the chest just a little bit. And if you can, if it's available to you, start to just lift the hands up and away. Breathe and hold. Wonderful stretch for your chest, for your shoulders, and for your bicep muscles. So we just stretched the triceps. Now we're going to be stretching the front of the arm, the biceps. It's a great 3-in-1 stretch. Keep breathing. One more exhale, one more inhale, and release. Good job. Roll your shoulders out a little bit. Let's just finish off a little bit more for the neck. So just turn and look over your right shoulder. Always be gentle when you're working with your neck. You want to be sure that your chin is level with the floor. I'm going to add a 2-fingertip touch to my jawline. It is totally optional. You don't have to do that. I'm going to take 2 fingers and place them right at my jawline and just give it a little bit of help. Now, I'm not turning my body with it. My body's facing forward. I'm just gently turning over my shoulder, looking toward the back. And release it and turn and look in the other direction. 2-fingertip touch. It's optional. And then as I come to the center, I'm going to take those 2 fingers and place them right in front of right on my chin in front. And then I'm going to just press back, maybe an inch. Feel the back of my neck sort of flatten out or straighten up. And release. All right, left hand, hold onto that chair on the left side. Take your right ear and drop it toward the right shoulder. I'm going to move to the right a little bit. And then optional, I'm going to take my left hand just above the ear and just give it a little bit of help, right ear to right shoulder. You can either just reach for the floor with the left hand or hold under the chair. I like to hold under the chair. Makes me feel a little more steady and I get a little bit more out of the stretch. We're going to release this and do the other side. So inhale up, switch sides, hold under the chair with your right, move to the left a little bit, and then my hand's going to come above the ear. I'm going to drop my left ear to my left shoulder. And then back up to center. One more time with the open chest, both arms open, wide. Big deep breath in. Give yourselves a hug and a pat on the back. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're feeling nice and flexible. If you have a moment to stay with me, I want to go over the best way to get off of the floor, because next week we'll be back on the mat. We're going to kind of alternate. So we'll do 1 week in the chair and 1 week on the mat. And I don't want anyone to feel intimidated about being on the floor. It's a good thing. We won't go up and down. We'll only stay on the floor. So I just want to give a little bit of reminder so that if you do find yourself on the floor, intentionally or unintentionally, all right, it'll be intentional next week, but if you happen to slip and find yourself on the floor, the first thing that you do is be sure that nothing is broken and that you're not bleeding. And if you're pretty sure that everything's okay and you just need to get up, what we're going to do is roll over until you take your time and roll over until you can make your way into a tabletop position, a quadruplex position. I'm going to move away a little bit so you can see me better. So roll over, take your time until you can press yourself into an all fours position. And then you want to make your way to the closest sturdy piece of the furniture. Most of us can do a little crawl, right? Wherever we need to go to the closest, sturdiest piece of furniture. This would not be it because this chair is sliding all over the place, but I'm going to use it right now for a demonstration. What I would do is place one hand on the piece of furniture and then place the other hand on the piece of furniture. And now using my strongest leg, most of us are right-handed, not everybody for certain, but using your strongest leg, right? That leg comes to the floor. And then we're going to press until all I'm going to do is just plop, turn and sit. So here we are. Please, again, I'd love for you to join me for a mat stretch class next week. It'll feel completely different. Hope you can join me and have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay home. Miss you guys. Bye-bye.